A federal judge has sentenced a January 6th rioter to 7 years in prison, which is the longest sentence so far for participants in the Capitol insurrection. Sentencing for Guy Reffitt comes nearly 20 months after he brought a gun to the Capitol and threatened House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Back in March, a D.C. jury convicted Guy of 5 felonies. Here's how Reffitt's daughters reacted to his sentencing.
To mark my dad as this horrible person, and then having him prosecuted like this when somebody is maybe even able to get elected again doesn't seem right to me.
Trump deserves life in prison if my father's in prison for this long.
Joining us now is Guy Reffitt's son, Jackson Reffitt. Jackson warned the FBI about his father both before and after the insurrection. Jackson, thank you so much for being with us this morning. How are you feeling? How are you reacting to this sentence?
I'm not happy at all, and I haven't been happy through this whole situation in my head. No one in my family has either. But to say I'm surprised would be a lie. Everything my dad did, he's his own person, and his action has consequences. But I'm not happy at all.
Do you think he deserves this length of sentence?
Absolutely. He deserves some time, rather for anything, to rehabilitate for his mental health. He deserves a lot of safety nets. But yes, he does.
You have worries about him being in prison that long. You mentioned his mental health.
Absolutely. The prison system in this country can be pretty harsh for a lot of reasons, and to blame my dad's deteriorating mental health for a pretty bad effect on him, I'm not going to be surprised. But that's why I mentioned it in my letter.
Do you now, or have you throughout any of this process, had any second thoughts about turning him in?
Absolutely not. But it still bears the guilt that he is his own person and he has made his own choices, but he's also been pretty much manipulated into making those choices. And it pains me that he is still responsible for his actions.
Jackson, I want to talk about what this has done to your family. This is your mom speaking yesterday. I want to listen to this.
No matter if you're a liberal, if you're an independent, if you're a Republican, this is not okay. This is what this is political persecution. We are patriots. Ashley Babbitt was a patriot. My husband is a patriot. Roseanne Boylan was a patriot. And all I can say is that y'all can all go to hell and I'm going back to Texas.
What is your relationship like with your mom, with your sisters?
It's been really hard over the past couple of years. The really polarizing differences in how we view our father and the people that are involved in communities such as what my father was in. And it feels like we're each pulling on each string one way. I don't view this as a political matter. This is more of what is morally correct and how to go about it. And what my father was manipulated into doing, and what he led to think was the best and only way to do it. He decided as an adult to make those choices. And whether my family views it any differently, it doesn't have an effect of the outcome.
When you heard what your mom said there, what do you think about what she said?
Realistically, this isn't half a matter of a political opinion. What my father did is far from politics. This is completely off the rails violence. Whether it had a political motive at this point doesn't matter. It's more about what he did and who he did it for.
It seems like, your sister Peyton, listening to her, she feels kind of caught in the middle of this. She was there at the courthouse. She loves you. She made that clear yesterday. She thinks that your dad if he's getting this time, that Trump should be getting some time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely. When she said that, I was flabbergasted. Not only was I so impressed with her, but she was so right. I mean, my dad was used as a puppet, and thousands of families have been. And whether you deny or agree with that, it's just at this fact, it's facts at this point. It is disgusting to see that someone with practically money and social power can just get away with manipulating thousands of people just for whatever reason and have no outcome.
When we look at this sentence, which is the longest one we've seen so far for a January 6th participant, part of the reason was that your father carried a weapon. He did not enter the Capitol, but he also decided that he was going to trial instead of accepting a plea. And that obviously is something that would have potentially gotten him a longer sentence, more time in jail. It seemed in court that he regretted that a bit, but why do you think he wanted to do that initially? Why do you think he wanted to be an example?
I I can't think of anything other than my own experience with my father, knowing that he is a narcissist and that he has a rather large ego. Um, and it was horrible to see him make that decision, knowing that he could have gotten off much easier. And I feared the moment that he was offered that and he denied it, that he would deny it and try to fight it in court. And I knew it wasn't going to end up like anything other than it is right now.
Have you talked to him since he was arrested, and have you talked to him since he was sentenced?
Briefly, I had a really weird phone call with him that was really awkward. But yeah, it was. I talked to him once, and we did not talk about anything other than like Magic the Gathering because they have guards in prison, but nothing too serious. No.
So it was just a hello and talking about Magic the Gathering, and that was it.
Yes, it was. It was really weird. But I would love to talk to him again.
You would love to speak with him again. What would you say to him, Jackson?
I don't even know whether I don't want to engage with such deep emotions with him right now. It still is taking a lot of time. I still don't even know how to process right now in terms of what I'm actually feeling. But I would just talk about the most pointless stuff just to go have a one-on-one with him at least a couple more times before he gets out.
Because he's your dad?
Absolutely. He's still my father. That doesn't justify anything that he's done, but I still have that attachment to him.
Jackson, thank you so much for taking the time with us this morning. We appreciate it.